Every morning is a gift, a new chance to rise, to breathe, to reset, and to direct our inner energy toward the life we want to build. Shi Heng Yi, a Shaolin master, teaches not only physical discipline, but also the immense power of mental clarity. He reminds us that what you say to yourself every morning becomes your mindset for the day, and eventually your destiny. So before the world speaks to you, you must speak to yourself. Here are 4 powerful things you must tell yourself every single morning. These are not just words, they are inner commands to awaken your strength, clarity, and purpose. This simple sentence holds immense power because it reminds you that your greatest strength lies not in controlling the outside world, but in mastering your inner world. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you step into your work, before the noise of the world clouds your clarity, you must reaffirm this truth. You are the commander of your mind. Your thoughts are not random winds. They don't have the right to blow you in any direction they please, not unless you let them. Thoughts of doubt, fear, distraction, or negativity may appear, but you must remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. And more importantly, you are the one who decides which ones get to stay. When you declare, I am in control of my thoughts and actions, you are choosing awareness over autopilot. You are choosing intention over reactivity. Most people live on default mode. They wake up and are instantly ruled by external triggers, news, emails, social media, stress. But those who succeed, those who live with presence and power, they pause, they breathe, they take the reins of their mind before anything else does. Your actions begin with your thoughts. So if your thoughts are fearful, your actions will be hesitant. If your thoughts are angry, your words will hurt others. If your thoughts are scattered, your day will be unproductive. But when your thoughts are calm, disciplined, and clear, your actions become aligned, focused, and effective. Control does not mean suppression. It means awareness. It means watching your mind like a monk watches a candle flame, steadily, without judgment, with great care. This control is not about being rigid. It is about being rooted. It is the foundation of inner discipline. When you anchor yourself in this idea every morning, you remind yourself that you are not powerless. You do not have to carry yesterday's pain into today. You do not have to inherit anxiety from others. You can choose to think differently. You can decide to act with discipline. You can respond rather than react. This is the beginning of self-mastery. This statement is not just a morning affirmation. It's a return to truth, a truth that so many have forgotten in the noise of the modern world. We are constantly taught to seek outside of ourselves. We look for confidence in compliments, peace in possessions, purpose in approval. But Shi Heng Yi reminds us that the path of true strength, true peace, and true clarity does not begin outside. It begins within. When you tell yourself each morning, everything I need is already within me, you are making a declaration of sufficiency. You are reminding your soul that it is not incomplete, not broken, not lacking. You are reminding your mind that wisdom, courage, and strength do not come from the world. They arise from your center, your breath, your stillness. You already carry the blueprint for balance inside you. Every tool you seek externally, motivation, discipline, joy, focus, they are dormant seeds within. They only need your attention, your breath, and your belief to awaken. When you believe this truth, you stop chasing and start cultivating. You stop begging the world for energy and begin generating it yourself. This shift is radical. It transforms how you face problems. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you ask, which part of me do I need to unlock to rise to this challenge? Instead of running to distractions or people to fill a void, you turn inward and find the presence that was always there. Look at nature. Does the mountain ask the sky to make it strong? Does the river ask the ocean to make it flow? No, each element is complete. Each one trusts the force that lies within it. In the same way, you must begin your day grounded in the understanding that your spirit is not empty. It is overflowing if only you'd stop and recognize it. So when fear arises, you don't collapse, you go inward. When doubt creeps in, you don't give up. You remind yourself that clarity already exists within the stillness of your mind. You begin to understand that power is not about shouting, it is about knowing. It is about being rooted so deeply in your own truth that no storm can uproot you. This understanding does not come overnight. It must be repeated, nurtured, and lived. Every morning, you must return to it like a monk returns to the breath, calmly, patiently, and with reverence. Because once you truly believe that everything you need is already within you, you stop waiting, you stop depending, you start living, you start creating. You start embodying the strength that was always yours. This one shift in minds, at seeing your challenges not as punishments, but as teachers, can change the entire course of your life. Every morning when you say to yourself, "Challenges are my teachers, not my enemies," you are stepping into a mindset of growth, not fear. You are choosing to see life not as a battle to be survived, but as a classroom for your evolution. We live in a world where difficulty is often avoided. We're conditioned to seek comfort, ease, instant results. When discomfort arises, we flinch. When obstacles appear, we question ourselves. But Shi Heng Yi teaches that true warriors of the mind understand. The path to mastery is built through pressure, not comfort. Steel is forged in fire, the lotus rises through mud, and your potential is awakened through challenge. Think about it. Every moment in your life where you grew the most likely came from a situation that tested you. Pain taught you resilience. Failure taught you humility. Loneliness taught you to enjoy your own company. Rejection taught you self-worth. These weren't curses. They were sacred instructions from life itself, showing you where your strength was hiding, unpolished, waiting to be revealed. When you view challenges as enemies, you resist them. You become bitter, stressed, anxious. You start asking, "Why me?" But when you see them as teachers, your question transforms into, "What is this here to teach me?" That question opens the door to awareness. Suddenly, pain becomes feedback, struggle becomes insight, obstacles become invitations to rise. Each challenge you face is a mirror, reflecting something within you that's ready to evolve. Some challenges test your patience. Others test your confidence. Some force you to slow down, while others demand that you take action. But all of them, in their own way, are pointing you toward a version of yourself that is more grounded, more present, more capable. This perspective isn't always easy, especially when the pain is fresh. But wisdom isn't about escaping pain, it's about transforming it. Instead of allowing difficulty to make you bitter, you let it make you better. You extract the lesson, you integrate the growth, and you step forward more refined, more aware, more whole. Shi Heng Yi speaks often of inner stillness, the ability to remain calm and rooted even in the face of chaos. That stillness is cultivated through hardship, through discipline, through facing life's tests with courage instead of complaint. Challenges are not meant to crush you. They are meant to reveal the strength you didn't know you had. Every morning you remind yourself, whatever challenge comes my way today, it is here for a reason. It is not an interruption of my path. It is part of the path itself. This mindset shifts your posture. You stop shrinking, you begin rising. Because now, you are not running from the storm. You are walking through it, head held high, with the awareness that the storm is shaping you into someone unshakable. In a world overflowing with noise, comparison, and distraction, this affirmation is a declaration of inner freedom. When you tell yourself every morning, "I am walking my own path, and I trust it," you are choosing to stand firm in a society that constantly tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. You are reminding yourself that your journey is unique, sacred, and perfectly timed. even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. The modern world moves fast. Social media shows us filtered snapshots of others' successes, and without realizing it, we begin to question our own pace, our own progress. Doubt creeps in. We start to think we're behind. We start to wonder if we missed a step. But what we forget is that everyone blooms in their own season. A bamboo tree can take years to show above the ground, but its roots are growing deep and wide in silence. Just because the world doesn't see your growth yet doesn't mean it isn't happening. Shi Heng Yi reminds us that one of the greatest acts of discipline is to stay on your path, even when it feels slow, even when it feels invisible. Because real growth is often quiet. Real transformation happens in the still moments when no one is watching. It takes courage to walk your own path without needing applause. It takes strength to trust your pace when others seem to be sprinting. Your path is not meant to be understood by everyone. It is not meant to be compared, judged, or explained. It is meant to be lived, with full presence, with deep awareness, and with unwavering trust. Trust doesn't mean you won't face uncertainty. It means you move forward anyway, not because you know exactly where the road leads, but because you know who you are becoming with each step. There will be moments when your path feels lonely, when progress feels invisible, when doubt whispers louder than clarity. In those moments, this affirmation becomes your anchor. I am walking my own path, and I trust it. You remind yourself that even if you don't see the full picture now, your steps are not in vain. Every effort, every discipline, every choice is building something within you that the outside world cannot see. We often underestimate the power of patience, but true mastery is not about speed, it's about direction. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what's aligned. Walking your own path means you are no longer trying to live someone else's dream. You are not bending yourself to fit into a mold created by society, family, or culture. You are carving a life that is true to your soul, even if others don't understand it yet. Every morning when you rise and declare this truth, you are reinforcing your faith, not just in the path, but in yourself, in your decisions, in your instincts, in your resilience, because when you trust your path, you walk with peace, and when you walk with peace, you move with power. The way you begin your morning is not just a routine, it is a ritual. It is the foundation upon which the rest of your day is built. The moment you open your eyes, your mind is in a delicate state, like soft clay, ready to be molded. Whatever thoughts you allow in first, whatever energy you choose to engage with, whatever words you speak to yourself, those will form the lens through which you see the rest of your day, and that lens, if left unchecked, becomes your reality. Shi Heng Yi teaches that awareness is everything. He reminds us that life doesn't happen to us, it responds to us. Your outer experience is a reflection of your inner state. So if your morning begins with stress, negativity, distraction, or self-doubt, then your actions will unconsciously follow that pattern. You'll be reactive rather than responsive. You'll be pulled by external forces instead of moving with intention. But imagine beginning your day with centeredness, clarity, and deliberate thought. Imagine waking up and choosing to feed your mind with truth rather than fear, with calm rather than chaos, with strength rather than insecurity. That choice alone shifts your posture. It prepares you not just to face the day, but to lead it. Morning mindset is the difference between drifting and driving, between being a passenger in your life or being the one behind the wheel. And it doesn't require a dramatic change. It requires consistency, a few minutes of silence, a deep breath, a powerful affirmation, a mindful moment before reaching for your phone or checking your messages. These seemingly small acts compound over time. They rewire your brain, they recalibrate your energy, they remind you that you are not just reacting to life, You are shaping it from the inside out. This mindset becomes your internal armor. When difficulty arises, as it always does, you meet it with presence rather than panic. When distractions come, you are not shaken because you've already anchored yourself in clarity. When people try to project their fears onto you, you are unmoved because you've already filled your cup with self-belief. Most people underestimate this power. They roll out of bed and immediately dive into the noise of the world. But the warrior, the student of wisdom, knows that the real battle is won before the world even wakes up. It is won in the silence of the early morning. It is won in the thoughts you choose, in the way you breathe, in the words you whisper to yourself when no one is listening. Your morning is your sacred space. It is not just preparation. It is programming. What you feed your mind at the start of the day becomes the script that runs in the background of everything you do. It affects how you respond to problems, how you interact with others, how deeply you focus, and how much peace you carry. This is why Shi Heng Yi emphasizes discipline, not as punishment, but as alignment. Discipline in the morning is discipline in life. If you can control the first hour of your day, you can begin to control the trajectory of your entire life. One of the most destructive habits in today's world is the silent, constant act of comparison. It often begins the moment we wake up, scrolling through images, updates, successes, bodies, careers, and lifestyles of others. And slowly, quietly, it poisons the mind. That voice inside begins whispering, "Why am I not there yet? Why don't I have what they have? Why does their life look so perfect while mine feels messy?" This voice isn't harmless, it's corrosive, and over time it robs us of our peace, our direction, and worst of all, our clarity. Shi Heng Yi teaches that comparison is not just a distraction, it is a distortion. It takes your eyes off your own path and blurs your vision with someone else's illusion. When you begin to compare, you stop seeing your own life for what it is. You stop appreciating your own progress, your own uniqueness, your own journey. Instead, you begin to measure yourself with someone else's ruler, someone who may be playing a different game entirely. Clarity is born from stillness, from self-awareness, from knowing who you are, what you value, and what your path demands from you. But comparison throws you into confusion. It makes you chase goals that are not yours. It makes you desire things that may not align with your soul. It convinces you that you are not enough, not because you actually lack anything, but because you've allowed someone else's highlight reel to dictate your worth. Every time you compare, you break your own rhythm. You interrupt your own becoming, you look sideways instead of forward, but your life isn't meant to follow anyone else's timeline. Your growth is not meant to match someone else's pace. You are not behind. You are becoming. And that process is sacred. It's not meant to be rushed, judged, or questioned based on what others are doing. Shi Heng Yi's wisdom reminds us that the mind, when focused inward, becomes powerful, but when focused outward in jealousy, insecurity, or envy, it becomes weak and restless. The true warrior turns comparison into reflection. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have what they have?" they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this?" The shift is subtle, but transformative. You must remember, no one else has lived your life. No one else carries your exact lessons, pain, gifts, or purpose. Therefore, no one else's journey can ever be the standard by which you measure your own. When you compare, you diminish the very things that make you rare. You overlook your own inner richness because you're too distracted by someone else's surface shine. Comparison is a trap, but clarity is freedom. Clarity allows you to move with purpose, to make decisions rooted in your truth, not someone else's expectations. Clarity allows you to wake up each day and walk your path, not because it looks impressive to others, but because it feels aligned to you. And this clarity must be reclaimed each day. Every morning, you must remind yourself, "I don't need to be like anyone else. I don't need to chase someone else's version of success. I only need to stay true to who I am and trust the unfolding of my own path. Because once you reclaim that focus, once you guard your mind from comparison, your energy returns to you, your vision sharpens, your steps become lighter, and your path, no matter how quiet or slow, becomes deeply, beautifully clear. Every human being is born with a unique purpose, a path that belongs only to them, but in the rush of life, amidst the noise of opinions, expectations, and cultural pressures, we often forget this sacred truth. We begin to treat our journey as if it's just another checklist to complete or a race to win. We lose reverence for the process. But Shi Heng Yi reminds us that your path is not ordinary. It is sacred. It is not random or meaningless. It is a divine unfolding of who you are meant to become. To declare that my path is sacred is to honor every part of your journey, not just the victories, but also the pauses, the setbacks, the lonely stretches, and the silent seasons. It is to acknowledge that your growth cannot be rushed, your timing cannot be compared, and your lessons cannot be skipped. It is to recognize that there is wisdom in every step, even when the destination isn't clear. We live in a world that glorifies speed, achievement, and constant progress. But sacredness is not found in speed. It is found in presence, in depth, in intention. When you begin to see your path as sacred, you no longer feel the need to explain yourself. You no longer seek validation from others to justify your choices. You begin to walk with quiet confidence, knowing that what you are building is real, even if it's invisible to others. There will be moments on your journey where things won't make sense. When doors close, when people leave, when nothing seems to move, but even those moments carry purpose. Even the pauses are part of the process. Just like a seed buried in darkness must break open before it grows, you too must endure moments that feel unclear. Trust that these seasons are not signs of failure. They are signs of formation. When your path is sacred, your focus shifts from performance to presence. You stop performing for the world and start showing up authentically for yourself. You stop chasing after a version of life that doesn't fit you and start building a life that aligns with your soul. You begin to ask different questions, not what do others expect from me, but what is my life asking of me right now, and not how can I be more like them. But how can I be more like me? And this sacredness must be protected. Not everyone will understand your path. Not everyone will support it. But it is not their responsibility to understand. It is yours to walk. Some paths are meant to be walked in solitude, with faith as your companion and discipline as your guide. Sacred paths are often quiet, often misunderstood, but always meaningful. Each morning you must return to this truth. You must speak to yourself not with pressure, but with reverence. My path is not broken. It is unfolding. My pace is not slow. It is intentional. My journey is not less than. It is sacred. When you believe this, something shifts inside. You begin to walk differently. You begin to live not for the destination, but with gratitude for each step. Because when your path becomes sacred in your own eyes, the entire journey becomes a form of meditation, a form of devotion, a form of becoming. So as you rise each morning before the noise, before the chaos, before the world places its weight on your shoulders, pause. Return to yourself. Speak these powerful truths not just with your mouth, but with your mind, your breath, your presence. You are not here to repeat yesterday. You are not here to live someone else's story. You are here to walk with intention, to think with clarity, to act with purpose. Each morning is not just a beginning. It's a sacred opportunity to reconnect with who you truly are. Say it out loud. I am in control of my thoughts and actions. Everything I need is already within me. Challenges are my teachers, not my enemies. I am walking my own path, and I trust it. Let these words guide your steps, shape your mindset, and remind you daily, you are not powerless. You are the master of your moment. Walk forward, not with rush, but with reverence, not with fear, but with focus, not with doubt, but with discipline.